What it do? Happy Friday! I just got in from work. I hope you guys are doing well. It's I think after midnight now. Wow, we had so I'm in Nashville. We had quite a windstorm today. My house backs up to the forest that goes into the park, and the trees were like going like crazy. I was just praying for them all so they wouldn't snap. And luckily our street was fine. No major trees fallen or limbs. A bunch of the areas around us were out of power. I noticed like a whole section up towards the main roads when I was coming home from work was like in a blackout. So my neighbors are in the dark. Maybe they're cozy with their candles. That's what I would be doing. And also a little bit panicked, but not really. But yeah, I just felt like it was like extreme wind too. And I just felt like the winds of change were blowing through and just really purifying everything. And it's crazy too, because when I was driving to work, like my car was just like kind of getting blown around, and there were trees down in the roads and wires had been shaken loose. Our power threatened to go out like once during the shift, and we were all just like in the kitchen, like all the lights went off and it got quiet in there, and all the cooks and like our chef, we all just were like, and then like a minute later it all like came back on. We were like, oh fuck. But yeah, so that was kind of crazy, but I loved it. Like I got to work and I was like, you guys, with this windstorm, does everybody not feel like every one of those like enchanting chick flicks, like The Holiday and Practical Magic, and like every movie where like a wind blows in and like mystery and mystique and like intrigue blow in with the wind? It's just, I don't know. It feels like it's blowing out all of these emotions that have been coming up that we've been purging through Pisces season, and it's just like, I don't know, freshening the air for spring to come in, and I'm feeling it. Like I just was loving it. Like I don't know. I actually went outside. I'm a true little witch. I went outside to basically take an air bath and like get blown around by the wind because it was so much fun. And I was like picking up some sticks in the yard, and like the wind, I mean, I was like, I felt like it could pick me up and lift me up and carry me. I was like, maybe I can fly. And I was running after the neighbor's trash can and just playing around in it. And like my neighbor was like, are you okay? Yes. Thank you for asking. I'm just insane. I'm just dancing in the windstorm out here is fine. No, please, no pictures. Don't look at me. All right, you guys, let's talk about our cards for the weekend. Now that we've wrapped a little bit, done our little opening monologue for a late show, I'm feeling good and I'm feeling intrigued. So I feel like the universe is playing with us, and we'll see why. So out of the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck, we've got playfulness. I always love her. She's like this little sprite sitting on a toadstool. I love a mushroom, if you guys know me at all. Strength, which this is very reminiscent of the star card in the tarot. In fact, this circle here says star, and I think that she's crowned by like 12. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, only 10, but I think these are supposed to be like the zodiac around her. But yes, very much reminds me of the star card. We have, I just remembered I wanted to read a passage from this book. I might run and get it while the video runs, but just hang with me for a second. So, hope, faith, possibility. Remember that also with strength. And we got wisdom. And then underneath these, underneath the playfulness, we got 7 of Wands. I love this card. Our strong man is back. He's the strong man. We got I have a Charlie horse in the arch of my foot right now. Knight of Pentacles. I'm also like sitting on my couch so you can hear it squeaking. Knight of Pentacles. And the Hierophant. This is officially the most distracted and like all over the place video ever. Okay. I feel like I need a cough drop. I forgot to get my book. I think I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause, you guys. I'm going to pause. I'm going to cough drop into the book, then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have my lozenge. I had a cold like a few weeks ago, and it was like this respiratory thing that had like a really stubborn cough with it. And the cough is like usually the last thing for me to get over if I've been sick. And so now it's just like once a day, like later in the day, I'm like, I have a cough that I just can't satisfy. Okay, back on track. I have my book, we're ready, start over. So we have playfulness, we have strength, and we have wisdom. And so we'll get into the tarot cards in a second. But I feel like the vibe that I'm getting from this story and this moment from the universe is that, so we've been purging all of this density during Pisces season, and it's been like the end of all the stuff that we were clearing out in 2022. And this is going way back to the furthest reaches and probably the deepest memories, the most distant past, or the stuff that's just been buried and like hasn't been tended to, has been coming out last, right? Because Pisces goes deep. So we've been going deep, deep, deep to get all of this cleansed so that moving forward, starting in the spring when Aries season begins, like March 20th, that's when our new year starts for real. That's when the elemental year starts, the spiritual new year starts for spring, you know, or the energetic new year. And so spring is about to kick off, and we're starting this new chapter of our lives. It's so huge that it's like a whole new movie. It's like the sequel, right? Or like the next season in a show, like the series ended and it came back, but now like none of the old story has to apply. None of the old rules have to apply. None of the old patterns, none of the old mistakes. It's like we get to clean the slate and start fresh and new. And so we're starting in this new journey at a new level, at this up level. And so now it's like the universe, we're still going to be tested and challenged, but we're going to be challenged on what we've learned and been able to embody during this big transformation and process so that we can sort of initiate ourselves into the embodiment of the up level, right? We don't know, we haven't truly like solidified the new up-leveled self until we've faced some familiar challenges again, and we can start facing them and reacting to them and showing up to them in different ways, in a more transcended or evolved way than we were before, right? We're trying to become this new person. It's like breaking in new shoes. And so we're always going to be facing these tests and challenges and pop quizzes and, you know, things. But I think because we've offloaded so much density and we've done so much healing, that we're getting to a point where the universe is offering us opportunities to learn through more fun challenges and through more humorous ways that the universe can work with us, rather than it always being like these painful tests and challenges. So that's great. So, you know, I think that the universe is sort of like presenting us right now. If you haven't already been getting like tastes of this or experiences with this, you may soon. But just be aware that the universe might be approaching you like a game. Whereas before, it might have felt like we were in this like gauntlet and this like sort of ominous sort of like uncertainty and these like, you know, tangled forests. And now it's the energy's lightening up, at least for a spell. So our challenge is to keep this lightheartedness and this sense of playfulness as we start moving through our life. And the more lighthearted and fun that we can have with the universe, while still learning, still growing, still pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, it's like the more it can continue to play with us and send us more and more good things. And we can, it's like when you're on the right path, it's like we've tried to course correct and get in alignment with our path. And it's like now we can follow the bliss, right? We found the bliss and now we can follow it. So the universe will challenge us, but this challenge is more like a game, right? We always talk about how we're like in this avatar, and we've gone to the next level. And so when we level up, you know, we jump on our challenges like the little Mario mushrooms, and then we get bigger, we get, you know, more powers revealed through the light that we've revealed through like overcoming our negativity. And so, you know, we're going up and up and up in these levels. And a lot of times, you know, it's just felt like we were in survivor mode, and we're just facing like these heartbreaking, you know, things where it's like we've been tested not to just give up on ourselves. But I think that now we've gotten over the hump. And so now the universe is just like, okay, cool. So I'm going to start presenting you with some fun things, but you have to learn how to, like, now we've been practicing how not to be reactive in a negative way. Like, don't let something scare you. Don't let something make you feel insecure. Don't let something make you feel less than, right? Or don't let something like make you feel scarcity where you have to like grab at something, you know, like in a neediness way. So we've been learning how not to be reactive that way. But I think now we're learning how to not get too excited and impulsive. And so that's also a form of reaction, right? If like, say somebody presents you with this deal, right? Like say you're a performer, you're an artist, and you've been waiting for an agent, or you've been waiting for a contract or something, and someone offers you a contract, but you know, you have somebody look over it, and at first, like before you have somebody look over it, you're all excited and you want to jump on it because somebody's offering you a deal, right? But you give it to like an attorney or something to look at, and he's like, whoa, no, we need to counter propose, and we need to negotiate here. We need to ask for more. And you're like, oh, I don't want to ask for more. What if I lose the deal? So it's in those times we have to practice restriction too, right? A good example of positive restriction to practice is in early dating, right? You want to like, you know, get busy and, you know, do all the stuff. But the better thing is like to slow down, because you don't want to miss all the stages that are really great, that if you like rush through them, there's kind of no going back. It's not the same. And you don't build the bond and the foundation to keep moving forward. And so it kind of fizzles out. So like there's good restriction and restriction on positive feelings as well. So I think that the universe is like, hey, look, I'm presenting like fun opportunities in life for you right now, but it still takes a little bit of strategy. It's still sort of like chess, where even though it's fun and it's a game and it's lighter, you still don't want to rush forward foolhardy and like fuck yourself. So it's going to take strength. It's going to take wisdom. It's going to take discipline to use the wisdom that you've learned so far, right? You want to use your shrewdness, your cunning, but in a positive way. You know, you don't want to be manipulative. You just want to be organic, but you want to think things through, and you don't want to rush. You don't want to do things without tact or without intention. And so in order to play this game, right? I mean, think about all the sports that you know, athletes play. They have to refine their skills. They have to refine their craft. A chess player, they have to know their strategies, their moves. They have to know what their opponent's moves are going to be. You know, if you're you fence, right? You have to like refine your skills. Same thing in whatever that we're doing, the game of life, we have to practice and refine our skills. And a lot of times, the hardest skill to develop is patience and discipline, to not be impulsive, to not react out of a sense of scarcity. And like what I mean by that is like, You know, when you're watching one of those like sales presentations and it's really sucked you in and they're like, and you only have like a certain amount of time because it's going to go away, or we're not going to reopen the program until next year, right? They are manufacturing scarcity to get you to act urgently. It's a trigger. And so this is always happening in life. How many times do we try to act fast because we think it's smart, because we want to jump on something, but really we're just like, we're being impulsive because we're afraid that we're going to miss out, right? So we can't do that. We have to be stable. We have to be emotionally, like energetically, like clear about, you know, what we think and what we feel and what we're doing here. And to take our time so that we can observe ourselves and use our consciousness to make free will choices instead of just going into our default setting, right? Because if we're not conscious about what our choices are or how we're showing up or how we're acting, then most likely it's just like our default settings from those old subconscious patterns. And until we practice the new ones, until we put them into practice and we do them over and over again and build that muscle memory, it's going to be more comfortable for our operating system to go back to what it's used to. So use your discernment, take your time, don't go quickly, right? Because there's an artful skill to playing this game with the universe. And the universe also wants you to just slow down so you can like stop and smell the roses and enjoy the moment, right? Enjoy all of the unfolding. But yeah, the key right now is to like meet life with a real sense of playfulness. Underneath playfulness, we had 7 of Wands. 7 of Wands is a moment where we're like getting this strength and determination to stand up for what we believe in, speak up for ourselves, go after what we want. We're breaking through our limitations, breaking patterns, breaking through limiting beliefs. This guy here, this is like the strong man in the sideshow. He's like breaking through the bars that kept him limited, that kept him trapped. He's breaking through fears, insecurities, limiting beliefs, inner conflicting desires. He's breaking through the things from the past that haunted him. The tattoos on him represent all the experiences of his life that either left him with pain, you know, or broke him more open, right? It brought him strength and wisdom, right? And so hopefully we've allowed all of these experiences to teach us how to love better, right? And hopefully we haven't shut down and, you know, our heart gets, when we shut down like that, our heart gets hardened, and we actually have to do a lot of work to open it up again so that we can love again, so we can feel love again. You know, we are love, and we're always love, right? That's what we're made of. That's what keeps us alive, right? That's our natural tendency. But if we become disconnected from it, it's like we don't recognize it anymore. We're not in resonance, right? And so it's just that we've gotten too corroded with buildup of darkness and negativity and fear and doubt, right? Sadness and regret and bitterness, right? So we have to like offload that negativity. And I think that that's what we've been doing, and we've really been lightening up so much. And so I feel like this surge of masculine energy is coming up because we're somewhere, the wisdom, right? All of these subconscious patterns. Oh yes, okay, I remember. So in the description, Because next to the strongman, we have the Knight of Pentacles. But this particular knight is feminine, or she's not usually, but like in this particular deck she is. And then we have the Hierophant next to that. And then it's like this little girl. So all these characters are feminine, right? Wisdom is feminine and strength. And that reminds me of the angel passage. I'll go and read that in a few minutes. But it just made me think that like the feminine aspect within us, the subconscious, the unconscious, the intuition, has been picking up on some things. And maybe they've just been just a little bit ahead. Because in all of these pictures with the feminine, they're all happening like in the evening here. This is like gloaming hour where like the sun's going down, the stars are coming out. This is nighttime, late afternoon, looks like nighttime, evening, sunset. And so all of these feminine characters are kind of later in the day. And this guy, he's in the earlier part of the day or the midday. And so to me, the message that I got from that was that like all of these things that we've known intuitively and in our on a subconscious level, like these revelations are coming forth. And we're getting really clear about it, and we're becoming like lighter, and we're offloading so much of the density. And so like our conscious mind, the masculine, our willpower, our drive is starting to get revved up again and come back online. And it's like suddenly now like our conscious mind is starting to realize what our subconscious has been pushing at us, right? Our intuition has been like, hey, realize this. Have this revelation so you can break this pattern and you can break through what's been holding you back all this time and move forward. Break through these self-defeating tendencies, right? And so back to the whole, like, how are you going to meet this game and play this game? So the game that's playing out for you right now is the universe's way to set up a gauntlet for you to break these patterns in, but in a more fun way, in a way that's more loving and enjoyable. When we talk about tikkun correction, tikkun healing, that's that soul correction. So we can either learn lessons from the column of mercy or the column of judgment. And so the column of mercy is what I think that we're learning under right now, because the lessons are coming in more merciful and more fun, right? And so we have a chance. It could be fun if we let it. It doesn't have to be so tough. It's just that we've been so tough. We've been so resistant and so not malleable. And so now it's like the universe is like, hey, this can be fun if you let it. Like, we're going to try to teach you now with some bliss. Let's see if you can still pick up on it. And let's see if you can still practice that same restriction that you've recognized and learned in how to practice when you're having your negative feelings and your negative triggers. Let's see if you can practice like the subtle art of learning how to restrict when you're, having positive excitement. And this is not to say that you never make a move. Restriction is not repression. It's not suppression. It's just pausing long enough to avoid your reactive default setting that's in a default, like a faulty operating system. You're pausing long enough to bypass that, and long enough to where you can say, okay, I'm going to sober up my feelings a little bit so that I can, really listen to my intuition and my wisdom and discernment. And then I will make a decision based on what I know that I value, what I know that I feel inside on a deep level. It's not just like a passing moment. And I can turn into my intuitive guidance and my divine guidance. I can pray about it and get the creator in on it and feel, okay, really, what's the right move here? How do I really want to engage? How do I want to use my free will to actually be the person that I would like to be? Like, when you connect with your higher self in your mind, like by pausing and restricting, that's giving yourself a chance to connect that higher self and be like, what would higher self do in this situation? Maybe I can do that. And maybe I can start creating the life that higher self lives. my dreams. So that's how we're doing this, right? So we're taking our time, right? We're playing this game like the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck. This is one very intentional step at a time. Baby steps. So plodding that this horse is practically at a standstill. And this particular knight, she's just sitting pretty up there. She's hardly doing anything at all. She's just letting the universe meet her halfway as she is, you know, getting her, like, setting her intention, getting focused, like putting her intention in the direction that she's going. And she's looking straight ahead. She's not distracted, but she's not like running all over the place trying to get it done. She's not galloping in like some of the other knights on their horse. This right here, this was me galloping. Ha, ha, ha. Sometimes my acting, you guys, I'm just like, oh my God, my gestures. Yeah, so having this under strength, it was just telling me like the challenge right now within this game is going slow, is having patience, is actually being intentional. Slow, consistent, stable, steady, one step at a time. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fast, but it takes discipline. It takes strength to maintain a slow pace. It's not easy. So just remember that. You're going to want to rush ahead. You're going to want to do a bunch of stuff. You're going to want to like burn the wick at both ends, and whatever the situation is for you, it's like you're going to want to go at it, like go ham, but you're going to be better off to pace yourself, to take it one step at a time and let things unfold and decide how you want to make your moves. Because don't forget, start getting all serious and getting heavy. Keep it light, keep it playful. The universe can work so much easier with you in manifesting when you're light and playful, because you're in a state of surrender, right? The moment you get to like, oh, I don't know, your energy starts to tighten up. That's when that's when you get out of alignment, right? That's when you're out of the vortex. And so our last card was the Hierophant under wisdom. And so in the context of this reading, I believe that the Hierophant this time is telling us, okay, consult all that you know about this matter and this situation and this subject, all that you've learned up until now. Use your wisdom and discernment, but right now in this particular situation, it might behoove you to play it by the book in a traditional sense, at least for this moment. This Hierophant, the Hierophant is usually depicted as like the Pope. It's a card that is talking about like devotion, commitment to tradition, long-held institutions, things like the church, right? Or doing things traditionally, maintaining traditions, the importance of doing things in a certain way. Sometimes it has to do with a serious commitment or being really devoted to something. But in this particular case, I really feel, because like both of these cards were together, and they're both these feminine characters. This is actually Athena with the owl, her animal totem, and this little girl is speaking with wisdom, right? The moon is out. It's our internal intuition, our instincts, our connection with the astral realm, with that dream realm. So traditional wisdom, I think, is the prescription of the day. So just to review, I think that this is true in an internal level, Whereas we've been lightening up, we've been offloading a lot of emotion. And so because of that, a lot of stuff has been coming to our realization, and we've been feeling a lot more motivated and inspired and assertive about overcoming these patterns. Like, we're ready to move forward. We're ready to get over it. A lot of this stuff has been coming up in our intuition for a long time, but now our consciousness is aware of it in our conscious mind, and we're ready to start putting our will and our energy behind making changes. We're determined, and we're ready to use all of our strength and our willpower and our wisdom to do it. And we know that we're going to have to be disciplined and patient and very intentional and focused, and take one step at a time, be methodical and intentional, but be organic and not manipulative or forceful in the moves that you're making. And it wouldn't hurt this time to try to approach the situation in think by the book, or think in like in a traditional sense, right? Yes, from an internal level, I think that like there's so many insights coming out that we're beginning to apply to our life. So it's whatever's happening on the internal level is going to be mirrored on the outside too. So just be ready to play with life. Be ready for the universe to have a sense of humor with you and be putting you in situations that you're just like, wait, what? You might be getting some fun opportunities. You may be getting like into some things that you're just like, wow, the universe is like fucking with me right now, isn't it? It's making jokes. The universe has got jokes. Just go with it. Go with it. Use your wisdom. Practice your strength to take it slow so that you can enjoy the unfolding of it all. And that's another thing too about this night. She's going slow. It gives her time to take in the scenery, right? It's like so many times we rush through our life from like thing to thing, from moment to moment, from phase to phase, and we don't even enjoy it. We can't people aren't having fun, and they're not feeling fulfilled or satisfied, and they're not having the magic of life just because they're going so fast and they're not paying attention to what happens around them, right? She's not going fast. She's just sitting and chilling on a little tuffet, like Miss Muffet. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to take our time. We're going to be present. We're going to like notice what's going on around us, and we're going to have fun with the universe. And we're about to be overcoming some big fears and obstacles. Oh, and then there was also the fact that like if these are human, like literally characters playing out, I feel like the feminine representative is just like tasked with being strong, being wise, sitting still, being playful, don't make any fast moves. And the masculine energy is breaking out, right? They're breaking out of their comfort zone, breaking through their limitations, busting through their fears, right? The strong man is acting now. So see what happens out there. This may not be gender specific, but we're talking about masculine energy and feminine energy. In any kind of exchange, there's going to be an active person and a passive person, a giver and a receiver. And it's not that those roles are like concrete and they may like go back and forth, but traditionally speaking, where do you find yourself, right? If you are like if you're not a cisgender and you are like, you identify as maybe more of a masculine or more of a feminine, I think that you're probably not totally like, I feel like you're probably like, feel like you're more the assertive one, right? Like think about it that way. Like the masculine role is going to be more like the assertive one. The feminine is going to be more of not like completely passive, but I mean, we all know, like, it gets so hard to try to like cover like the whole spectrum, you guys. That's why, like, in this situation, it's like, just think of it by the book. I'm sorry I can't be more varied. I only know what I know. I surround myself with a lot of people at the various ends of the spectrum, but I think that even, you know, when I'm talking to them, we can all agree that we understand electricity, right? We have a positive charge and a negative charge, and then there's a neutral charge that grounds them. And that is how Kabbalah describes the universe. It's like these masculine and feminine, positive, negative charges, right? And a grounding central column energy. Okay, and so the feminine is sitting pretty on the horse. Masculine is breaking through the bars. And I wanted to read a passage from this angel book. It's called The Angels Within Us, and it looks like the cheesiest thing on earth. But it's actually a really, really good book, and there's a lot of really good information. But it's talking about the archetypal energies that are described as the 22 angels. These are the 22 paths on the tree of life. They're the 22 major arcana cards in the tarot. But these are the archetypal, like, lessons that we all face on our soul's journey, essentially. And so this particular angel is the angel of the strength card, like the one with the woman, or hold on, I got it over here. Strength. We had it this week. So I wanted to read it because we had strength here and we had strength here, which is usually the woman and the lion. And also this angel of, so it's called the angel of spiritual strength and will. The way they describe her, it made me think exactly of the feminine king of swords that came out at the beginning of the week. So keep that in mind as I'm reading about the angel of strength, spiritual strength and will. Okay, so it's gonna be a couple of paragraphs. Through the feeling of strength, firmness, fortitude, and backbone comes the knowing of will, purpose, determination, and resolution. And this fusion of heart and mind is the action of an awesome energy flowing from the supermind within through a vortex of divine force controlled by an archetype of cosmic law. This is the angel of spiritual strength and will. This living energy has been called the daughter of the flaming sword, implying a feminine quality. However, this angel is a synthesis of both feminine and masculine energies, since the aspects of strength and will are perfectly blended into one power or force. The wisdom teachings tell us that strength in itself is passive, whereas will is active. I'll say that again. The wisdom teachings tell us that strength in itself is passive, whereas will is active. Now, doesn't that make sense? Strength being passive. Usually we have to show strength to practice restriction. We have to be strong enough to bear the burden, strong enough to face the challenge, to persevere. It's like you have to sit in your strength to endure, right? But the will is like when you have your will forces you to act, right? So, but they're layered and they're interconnected. That's why they can't be separated from, this angel is both strength and will. Okay, so the wisdom teachings tell us that strength in itself is passive, whereas will is active. Yet strength provides the force to give power to will. yet strength provides the force to give power to will. So we must consider these qualities as one when working with this angel, knowing that out of the poise and quiet of strength, the daughter, comes the activity of will, the flaming sword. Love that. I'm the daughter of the flaming sword. No, me. Yeah, so I thought that that was just really interesting. That strength and will, strength being feminine and will being masculine, and that being fused into one character, it just really reminded me so much of the feminine King of Swords there. Well, all right, guys, I felt a little bit like I rambled and talked in circles. When I was writing this earlier, it felt like I was going to be able to talk so much more clearly speak so much more clearly on it tonight. Do not believe I did that. Yeah, I'm just going to blame the windstorm. It just got everything all crazy today. But whatever you're doing out there, be playful. Don't forget that just because it's a game doesn't mean it's not still a challenge. So be wise, be shrewd about your moves in a playful way, because the more you think about bringing your best game to the game, you're making it fun for everybody else involved. You're making it more fun for the divine, watching it all play out. You're making it more fun for you. You're making the game more fun. Like if two people are playing tennis, and one of them is like amazing at tennis and the other one is like not like good at tennis at all, then the whole game sucks, right? So take your time, play the game. You know you can't quit until it's done. Or won, I don't know. So yes, think about what you're doing so that you can play your best game and set yourself up for the best start into your new journey in this new chapter. Fresh foot forward, breaking through your old patterning, your old limiting beliefs, your old self-defeating tendencies. None of that anymore. We're taking our time. We're taking it one step at a time, going slow enough to be present, conscious, and use our free will to make wise choices and use our discernment based on our experience and our intuition. Be strong enough to stand by your strategy and have patience and believe in yourself, and listen to your inner guidance and wisdom, and err on the side of traditional methods, at least for this particular situation. All right. Love this dude. He's like the cutest. I'm obsessed with his tattoos too. This is, this is a cartoon. I have to remind myself, this is not a real person. This is a cartoon. I love him. All right, you guys. I hope you have a good night. I will see you all tomorrow for our Saturday Night Secret Sermon. We will be doing our Secret Teachings with Jesus episode. All right. Ciao.